Good morning. I'm Cadet Mary Jane Wilkerson, and I will be the MC for today's event. As we all know, there's a lot going on in the world around us. These are strange times, and many lives here and globally are being affected in drastic ways. Unfortunately, because of this, we are unable to meet together for the traditional commissioning ceremony that we all originally planned for. Regardless, commissioning is a momentous occasion in every officer's career. This virtual ceremony is a testament to the adaptability of these soon-to-be second lieutenants, Liberty Battalion, and the Army in its entirety. So on behalf of the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Luchetta, we welcome you all to this virtual commissioning ceremony to celebrate the young men and women who will be commissioning today as officers of the U.S Army from Able Company and the Liberty Battalion Army ROTC program. Our official party consists of the guest of honor, Brigadier General Douglas M. McBride, Jr., Liberty Battalion Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Luchetta, and Senior Military Instructor, Master Sergeant Jesus Salas. Our commissionees are Ryan Bender, Lorna Brennan, Tim Chang, Kieran Fontenot, Alexis Gowan, Harrison Hahn, James McCrell, Brent Shin, and Mara Tazardis. Today, we have the honor of commissioning 9 second lieutenants into the world's greatest fighting force, We are grateful for the support that families, friends, mentors, and professors have given to these cadets throughout their journey toward becoming driven leaders and scholars who are now joining the world's finest Army. Cadet Gonzalez will now lead us in the invocation.
Lord, we give thanks to you for our brave men and women in uniform who stand here today ready to take their place in command. We pray for your love to lead them and your wisdom to guide them each and every day. We lift up prayer for those who lead and direct our soldiers. May their daily decisions bring powerful protection and abundant provision to our men and women in uniform. Amen.
Thank you, Cadet Gonzalez. Even in this unconventional situation, we encourage you to screen record or screenshot the ceremony. For anyone tuning in on a Mac computer, the shortcut is Command-Shift-3, and for Windows computers, use the print screen button in the upper right-hand side of the keyboard. We invite you all to find Liberty Battalion on Facebook and Instagram, where Mr. Scott Lyons, the Recruiting Operations Officer, will share pictures of the ceremony on Liberty Battalion's social media accounts, which are linked in the description of the live stream. Today marks a very special day in the lives of these young men and women. In a few minutes, they will swear an oath, which will culminate years of tireless effort preparing for the opportunity to lead the finest soldiers that our great country has to offer. Cadets enrolled in the Reserve Officers Training Corps are committed to meeting numerous requirements through academic excellence, physical training, leadership development, and military science coursework. These future leaders have proven that they are ready for the next step, illustrating their commitment to the profession of arms as they don their gold bars and transition from cadet to second lieutenant. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Liberty Battalion's Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Luchetta. His full biography is listed on the Liberty Battalion's website, which is linked in the live stream description.
Thanks, Mary Jane and Kyle, for helping to honor your fellow classmates in your roles today, as well as the many other cadets that are behind the scenes to make this a special day. I just want to apologize in advance to everyone out there. We've got a house full of kids and dogs, and there's no telling what kind of noises are going to come through this stream. So if it's not my voice, I do apologize for that. We're trying our best. A special thanks to General McBride coming from Fort Lee and spending some time with us this morning, sir. It looks like you sent that beautiful Virginia weather up our way. It's sunny and 70 degrees, probably just like you remember Boston from back in the day, I'm sure. And a special thank you to your staff, sir. They've been amazing the past couple of weeks to ensure that this thing goes off without a hitch. So we wouldn't be here without them today. So thank you to them. I'd like to thank the family members and all of our friends that are joining us via the live stream. We're hoping that there's not too many technical difficulties along the way so that you can truly enjoy this special moment with all of us. With that, I'd especially like to thank some of the best coworkers that anyone could really ask for. Obviously, this process was vastly different based on the trying times that we're all going through. Mrs. Sheila Hutchins, she's our administrative lead. She's been She's been amazing over these past few weeks, working with the various schools to ensure that we can confirm graduation status for all the cadets and all the commissionees, as well as all of the paperwork. She's certainly our subject matter expert when it comes to the United States postal system, and she really tested that process the past couple of weeks to ensure all the paperwork was straight for this ceremony. As well as Mr. Scott Lyons, our enrollment and scholarship officer, and Master Sergeant Jesus Salas, our senior military science instructor. They spent countless hours ensuring that this audio visual was what it needed to be to make sure that this ceremony is special. And with that, I have to thank our Northeast Recruiting Battalion brothers and sisters, especially Staff Sergeant Sizemore, who's helped us the past couple of days to ensure. I mean, he's the subject matter expert when it comes to this audio visual, and he really stepped up to ensure that this ceremony is as special as it possibly can be for our commissionees. So thank you to all. Now to the commissioning class. So it's certainly not the way that we had planned the end of this ROTC journey, and I know that. But like the many challenges that we've thrust upon you over these many years, you face this challenge with the same determination and zeal and resiliency, and not even a little coronavirus was going to stop us from commissioning you today. Thank you tremendously for allowing me to serve as your professor of military science the past 3 years. You know, this program is what it is because of the amazing cadets that we have. You've helped build this program into a world-class organization. We commission some of the finest officers that the Army knows. And without your dedicated efforts, this program would not be what it is today. And we have no doubt that you'll continue to go out there and make every organization that you belong to the same world-class organization that we see here today as Liberty Battalion. Just know that we're here to assist you along the way. Even though I'll no longer be serving as the professor of military science here at Liberty Battalion, it's a small Army. We're going to see each other again in some capacity. Feel free to reach out and always know that you've got a family back here in Liberty Battalion, no matter who's serving in these roles. And if they can assist at all, and make sure you come back and show the cadets some love. So congratulations to all of you. So I'd like to take a minute to formally introduce our guest of honor, Brigadier General Douglas McBride. So it's extra special for us because General McBride's illustrious career began close to 31 years ago, right here in Boston, Massachusetts. He was not only a highly successful scholar athlete at Northeastern, but he was also a scholarship cadet here with Liberty Battalion. And in 1989, he was commissioned into the Ordnance Corps as an Ordnance Second Lieutenant. Over the way, he served in a number of positions, and my few words here will not serve his career justice. So we have placed a link in the live feed, the YouTube live feed, that we welcome all of you to take a look at after the ceremony or during my words. So the career began as a platoon leader, right, with the 1st Cavalry Division down at Fort Hood, Texas. Continued as a company commander with the 1st Corps Support Command at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. During his major year, serving as a battalion executive officer, support operations officer, and a brigade S4 with the 25th Infantry Division over in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. General McBride served as a battalion commander in the 3rd Sustainment Brigade Special Troops Battalion down at Fort Stewart, Georgia, as well as brigade commander with the 593rd, or of the 593rd Sustainment Brigade over at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State, as well as commander of the 13th Expeditionary Sustainment Command in Fort Hood, Texas. All that prior to arriving at his current duty location, which is Fort Lee, Virginia, where he served as the Combined Arms Support Command G357 and currently as the 55th Quartermaster General and Commandant of the U.S. Army Quartermaster School. Along the way, General McBride has had multiple deployments to include support to Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, as well as hardship tours in the Republic of Korea. He's attended every professional military education that our great Department of Defense has to offer, to include the Naval Command and Staff College, as well as the Air War College. And during all of this time, General McBride found time to get 3 master's degrees, as well as serve as an inspiration and mentor to many, many soldiers and officers along the way. We've been trying to make this happen ever since I came into the job, and this COVID-19 was not going to stop us, sir. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 55th Quartermaster General, Brigadier General.
Colonel Luchetta, appreciate the opportunity. This is truly an inspiring day, and it's a great day. And it doesn't matter, what the conditions on the battlefield are. We will remain steadfast and loyal and resilient to ensure that any enemy that poses a threat will not win. And the COVID-19 virus was not going to stop us from executing this very, very important commissioning ceremony for these 9 outstanding cadets. And I was reflecting last night. I remember it was about a year ago that I was on TDY to the Natick Labs in Massachusetts and found the opportunity to go to my alma mater and visit the ROTC program. And I had the opportunity, and I met Lieutenant Colonel Luchetta at that time. And I also got an opportunity to reunite with what I consider a national treasure in Miss Sheila Hutchins. You guys don't understand, Sheila was there in 1989 when I was a young cadet, and we had many, many conversations. She was very, very vital to me remaining in the ROTC program during those formidable years. And that wasn't her, initial. She had been there, a few years prior to that. So she literally ushered in, multiple generations of future leaders. And so shout out to Ms. Sheila Hutchins for all that she does for Cadet Command and for Northeastern University ROTC. So me and Lieutenant Colonel Luchetta, we talked, we toured the facility, and I reflected upon, where the ROTC building used to be down there on the corner, right across the street from Punter's Pub, and then, oriented on the current location, and I'm mused that, the current location was the happening spot at Northeastern University, because it was a campus bar that we had a lot of memories there. The transformation of that place to a professional ROTC office was phenomenal, and it's a great tribute to the leadership of Colonel Luchetta and the folks that preceded him. The one thing that we did discuss was, I used to talk about, back in the day, we used to have an opportunity in between classes to go to the ROTC building to study, to fellowship, and plan and organize and do other things in our cadet lounge in the old ROTC building. And I noticed that we really didn't have a space dedicated for the cadets at the current space. And then I've learned since then that Colonel Luchetta, working with the school, has identified a space. It's not called the Cadet Lounge, it's called something else, but the effects remain the same. So again, that is a legacy that you senior cadets will leave behind, and Colonel Luchetta, that's a legacy that you leave behind as well. And so as Colonel Luchetta gets ready to transition and take centrally selected battalion command, all of you should clearly understand the honor and privilege to have such a phenomenal leader in your professor of military science. His career trajectory has no ceiling, and so stay connected with him, because he will continue to do well. 2 months ago, I could have never imagined that we would be conducting this ceremony virtually. My wife and I, who attended Emmanuel College, and so I met my future wife at Emmanuel College, and we've been married for 31 years and been together for 33 years. But we fully anticipated on traveling to Northeastern and being with you in person down there at historic Fanning Hall. But this is telling of the times, and many of you will not remember a word that I say today. But you will remember that we would not allow the COVID-19 pandemic to defeat us. And you will remember that your commissioning ceremony was done virtually. And you will remember that your leadership cared enough about you to make it happen. And so it's just a sign of the time. So we're not going to downplay the importance of today. This is truly a special day. Today you will raise your hand and unite as officers. You will take an oath to serve as commissioned officers and lead the greatest army that the world has ever seen. This is a special trust and confidence that Americans have bestowed upon you. It is given because you have demonstrated you have the integrity, the judgment, and the discretion to serve with honor. So I wanted to start by congratulating each and every one of you. And although I heard the introductions, I want to acknowledge each and every one of you personally, and I want you to hear your name from my mouth. So Cadet Ryan Bender, who's going to be joining the Military Intelligence Corps. So Fort Huachuca is awaiting your arrival, and you will do phenomenal things, Cadet Bender, distinguished military graduate, bold leader, Spirit Award winner at Advanced Camp, and being the Gold Commissionee. And especially want to call out the fact that you have a promising career because you are a New York Yankee fan. So I know you will do well just because of that. Cadet Lorna Brennan is going to join our nursing corps. We need nurses in our Army more today than we ever have. Color Sergeant for the Liberty Battalion in 2018, Daughters of American Revolution Award winner. Welcome to the Army. And the Medical Center of Excellence down in San Antonio can't wait to get you on ground and start to train you up and professionally develop you. Cadet Tim Chang, who's going to join our Air Defense branch from Northeastern University, BS in Business Administration, Public Relations Treasurer at the Student Association. The Fires Center of Excellence at Fort Sill can't wait to receive you and get you ready to join your first unit of assignment. Ms. Sirian Fortnite is going to join our engineers from the Berklee College of Music, bass performance, international music touring. And so there's always an opportunity to reclass because, you know, within CASCOM, we own the School of Music. But the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence down in Fort Leonard Wood welcome you and can't wait to get you down there to Leonard Wood and start training you up. Cadet Brent Chen from Michigan, BA in International Affairs, cum laude and color sergeant. I graduated, thank you, Lawdy, so that you are doing extremely well. Joining the logistics corps and transportation, nothing happens to something new. And we here at Fort Lee and Sustainment Center of Excellence can't wait to see you on ground. Cadet James Mackerel, infantry from Albany, New York, Vice President of Kappa Sigma fraternity, Huntington 100 graduate. You're going to go down to Fort Benning, the Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Colonel General Brito looks forward to getting you on ground. Cadet Harrison Hahn, infantry, criminal justice major, got an O rating at Cadet Summer Training last summer, which very few do. So the Maneuver Center of Excellence can't wait to see you on ground as well. Cadet Patrick Geyer, transportation from Stamford, Connecticut, Emmanuel College graduate, military service in the Army in the reserves. So you understand the total force. And again, we can't wait to get you on ground here at Fort Lee. Cadet Mara Tazardis is going armor. Just 2 years ago, the Army made the decision to allow females in combat arms. And to have Cadet Mara Tazardis coming out of Northeastern University Liberty Battalion to go join her brothers and sisters in the combat arms formation speaks volumes to her character. And so the Maneuver Center of Excellence can't wait to see you down at Fort Benning. And then lastly, Cadet Alexis Garwin, Chemical Corps from Emmanuel College. Major General Donna Martin can't wait to get you down there at Fort Leonard Wood at the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence. So again, congratulations to all you cadets. You selected a wide variety of careers. We fight wars as a combined arms force, so you will see each other again on a future battlefield. Nearly 31 years ago today, I was standing in your shoes down at the Old North Church. And I remember that commissioning ceremony like it was yesterday. I was full of uncertainty. I was eager to join the Army. My time has flown by. The past 31 years has been an incredible journey. My wife and I have traveled the world. We have visited almost every continent. We have served with some of the finest America has to offer. We have raised a great military family. I've served in 3 wars. I've served with heroes, and I have made lifelong friends along the way. And to think that I am sitting here today, 1 month from my retirement, just before stepping off into the sunset, and I get the honor of administering an oath of commission to 9 phenomenal officers from my great alma mater, the Northeastern University Liberty Battalion. Your cadre, your peers, your family members, your loved ones, and your country are very proud of each and every one of you. This commissioning class is composed of student leaders who have already demonstrated excellence. Your class is composed of athletes, musicians, leaders, and mentors who have extended your influence throughout the Northeastern University ROTC program and throughout the campus and beyond. This spring 2020 Northeastern University commissioning class absolutely stands ready to leverage its experiences and lead our nation's Army. This is such a great honor for me to administer your oath of commission, and I want to thank you again for the great opportunity. But before we do that, I want to make sure you understand the Army that you are about to join. You are joining a total force Army that is comprised of over 1.2 million soldiers. That's both active, Guard, and Reserve. Our active component, we have the operating force and the generating force. You and Cadet Command are part of that generating force. We generate individual combat power through our leader development program. Our operating force has 3 fighting corps with 11 standing divisions, 5 special forces groups, and dozens of separate brigades and battalions that stand as the enabling force. Our generating force is a robust with training units spread throughout the continental United States and beyond. And that is just our active forces. Our National Guard and Reserve make up over 50% of the total force. So no matter what campaign you find yourself in, no matter what operation you find yourself in, it will be a multi-compo force. It will be a total force solution. Compo 1, 2, and 3, active Guard and Reserve standing shoulder to shoulder on a future combat field. You are also joining an Army in transition. And as future leaders, you must understand the threat and the operating environment that you are entering into. And so all of you can start by reading the National Security Strategy, the National Defense Strategy, and the National Military Strategy. These documentations are foundational. They guide our military's priorities and inform our senior leaders how to use our resources and apply our national power. We are prepared today in the Army you're about to join to fight a peer threat. Peer threats like China and Russia. As you read the National Security Strategy, it calls for a 4+1. 4 is our top 4 threats to American way of life in the form of China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. The +1 is our violent extremist organization, similar to what we've done over the last 2 years, defeating ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Taliban in Iraq and Afghanistan. You, as a future leader, must be prepared to lead American sons and daughters across the full range of military operations, and I know that you will. Our Army is transitioning from a counterinsurgency fight, of which we crushed the enemy for over 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, to large-scale combat operations where we will be fighting full-up divisions and full-up corps in decisive action operations. There's a very competitive world out there. Never forget that our Army's primary purpose is to protect the American people, the homeland, and the American way of life. Freedom is not free, and it comes at a cost. And we must preserve all the liberties that in some cases we take for granted. You will be at the front line of defense to make sure that we preserve all that we hold dear in America. You will do this by building trust within your formation. Trust is the bedrock of our profession. It is attained by what I have coined the 3 C's, or C3. Character, competence, and commitment. 3 equal but required traits in order for you as future leaders to be successful on the future battlefield. Character. Your character is demonstrated in the decisions and actions. You must always hold the moral high ground. You are a beacon of Army values. You, more than anyone else, must live and uphold the Army ethic. Competence. This is your performance of duty. Your demonstrated ability to successfully perform your duty with discipline and to standard. Commitment. This is your resolve to contribute honorable service to the nation and accomplish missions despite adversity, obstacles, and challenges. You will build trust in your formation through the 3 C's. Your subordinates, your peers, your superiors will trust you as long as you meet the standards of these very critical criteria. So what will preserve you over a career, whether it's 4 years, 20 years, or 30 years? I've coined the 3 F's, or F3. My faith, my family, and my formation. Again, my faith, my family, and my formation. My faith is in God. And for you, it's in your God or some other belief system, something larger than yourself that you can lean on in times of need. Your family, that's that family support system. It takes a village to raise a second lieutenant. You didn't get here by yourself. And it will take a village and a family support system to get you through your career. Again, whether it's 4 years, 20 years, or 30 years. Always leverage and hold close to the vest your family support system. And then your formation, America's sons and daughters, that the day you step at your first unit of assignment, that you will be charged with their livelihood, 24 hours a day, day and night. They will be your motivation to get out of the rack every morning, put your feet on the floor, and put on display the best version of yourself. So my parting thoughts. Serving our nation in the profession of arms is a noble calling. Think of your time in the Army in terms of service to country. Be deliberate about your growth as a professional. Strive for excellence and endeavors, and always set a positive example. And very importantly, maintain a good work-life balance along the way. You are now entering into a fishbowl. You will be on watch 24 hours a day. Lead by example. They are watching you. They will be inspired by you. So in closing, I want to wish each and every one of you Godspeed. You guys are embarking upon a phenomenal career. I'm jealous as I walk into and transition into my next phase. I'll be cheering from you from afar. God bless America. God bless the cadets at Northeastern University Liberty Battalion, Army Strong. Thank you.
Sir, thank you for making the time to share this momentous day with our battalion, family, and friends. Your words of encouragement and wisdom are much appreciated. The raising of the right hand and taking an oath is a custom that began during the Revolutionary War. It is an affirmation made by commissioned officers to do their duty to the United States of America and their soldiers. The oath is a commitment and allegiance to protect and defend the ideals upon which this great nation was built. At this time, the commissioning and pinning of the cadets of Able Company, Liberty Battalion, will begin. Will the commissioning class of 2020 please rise to receive the oath of office from Brigadier General McBride?
Please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Brian,
I want change.
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly
Solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will
support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
Allegiance to the same.
And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
that I will bear
Orders of the United States
and the officers appointed over me.
the office
And that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation
take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Please be seated. You're up first. Will Cadet Ryan Bender please turn your camera on? Ryan is joined by his wife, Kayla, and son, Matthew, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Ryan Bender of Hopewell Junction, New York, will receive a commission as a military intelligence officer in the United States Army. Ryan has graduated Northeastern University with a master's degree of strategic intelligence and analysis with a concentration in Homeland Security and a 4-course graduate certificate in global studies and international relations. He has served on active duty for 7 years, rising to the rank of Staff Sergeant. Ryan was selected for the Army's Green to Gold program, which has allowed him to transition from enlisted to officer. He has been a member of Liberty Battalion's Color Guard and Ranger Challenge team. Ryan is also a distinguished military graduate. This is awarded to cadets who rank in the top 20% nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Ryan Bender. Will Cadet Lorna Brennan please turn your camera on? Lorna is joined by her mother, Leslie Brennan, and her father, Ronald Brennan, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Lorna Brennan, daughter of Leslie and Ronald Brennan, will receive a commission as a Nurse Corps officer in the United States Army. Lorna will graduate from Simmons University with a degree in nursing. In Liberty Battalion, she has been a member of the Color Guard teams for 4 years. And outside of the Army, she has been a member of the Association of the First Corps of Cadets and has worked as a student nurse technician at the West Roxbury VA Medical Center. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Lorna Brennan. Will Cadet Tim Chang please turn your camera on? Tim is joined by his mother, Susan Koo, and father, Taiwanese Air Force Colonel retired Stephen Chang, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Tim Chang, son of Stephen Chang and Susan Koo, will receive a commission as an Air Defense Artillery officer in the United States Army. Tim will graduate from Northeastern University with a degree in business administration. Battalion, he has been a member of the Color Guard team for 2 years. And outside of the Army, he has been a member of the Taiwanese Student Association as a public relations officer and treasurer.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Tim Chang.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Will Cadet Kieran Fontenot please turn your camera on? Kieran is joined by friend Meritus Artis, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Kieran Fontenot, son of Allie Fontenot and Mark Fontenot, will receive a commission as an engineer officer in the U.S. Army. He will graduate from Berklee College of Music with a degree in bass performance. Kieran started his time in the military in the Army Band in 2014. Throughout his time in ROTC, Kieran also maintained an active career as a musician, playing and touring around the coast of the United States and the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Kieran Fontenot. Will Cadet Alexis Gowan please turn your camera on? Alexis is joined by her mother, Jane Gowan, and father, Steve Gowan, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Alexis Gowan, daughter of Steve and Jane Gowan, will receive a commission as a chemical officer in the United States Army. Alexis will graduate from Emmanuel College with a degree in sociology and a concentration in criminology, and a minor in psychology. In Liberty Battalion, she has been a member of the Color Guard teams, and outside of the Army, she has been a member of the Emmanuel College Emergency Medical Services Club, as well as a 4-year member of the Emmanuel College women's soccer team as their starting goalkeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Alexis Gowan. Will Cadet Harrison Hahn please turn your camera on? Harrison is joined by his mother, Maureen Sullivan, and father, Eric Hahn, who will pin the rank of second lieutenant. Harrison Hahn, son of Eric Hahn and Maureen Sullivan Hahn, will receive a commission as an infantry officer in the Vermont Army National Guard. Harrison will graduate Northeastern University with a degree in criminal justice. In Liberty Battalion, he has been a member of the Color Guard team for 5 years, and outside of ROTC, he has been a member of the Massachusetts Army National Guard, the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity, and has worked as an industrial security analyst at the Costas Research Institute for Homeland Security. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Harrison Hahn. Will Cadet James McCrell please turn your camera on? James is joined by his father, Patrick McCrell, who will pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. James McCrell, son of Patrick and Peggy McCrell, will receive a commission as an infantry officer in the United States Army. James will graduate Northeastern University with a degree in finance and accounting. Outside of the Army, James was a member of the Huntington 100, the Kappa Sigma fraternity, and has spent his co-op semesters working as an intern at both Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch. James is also a distinguished military graduate. This is awarded to cadets who rank in the top 20% nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant James McCrell. Will Cadet Brent Shin please turn your camera on? Brent is joined by his friends, William Thurlow and Dennis Sue, to pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. Young Sup Brett Shin, son of Dong Jun Sin and Hana Lee, will receive a commission as a transportation officer in the United States Army. Brent will graduate Northeastern University with a bachelor's degree in international affairs and a minor in Arabic. In Liberty Battalion, he was a member of the Color Guard team and filled the role of Color Sergeant. At Northeastern, he completed 2 co-ops, one in workforce development at the International Institute of New England and one in constituent advocacy at Boston City Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Brent Shin. Will Cadet Meritus Artis please turn your camera on? Mara is joined by her friend Karen Fontenot to pin the rank of Second Lieutenant. Mara Tazardis, daughter of Michael and Karen Tazardis, will receive a commission as an armor officer in the United States Army. Mara will graduate Northeastern University with a degree in business administration and a concentration in management information systems. In Liberty Battalion, she has been a member of the Color Guard team for 4 years, and outside of the Army, she has been involved in Sigma 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 National Sorority, the Northeastern Student Conduct Board, Jewish Life on Campus, and the Business School Peer Mentor Program. Mara is also a distinguished military graduate. This is awarded to cadets who rank in the top 20% nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Meritus Artis. At this time, will the class of 2020 please rise for the presentation of the commissions? Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional abilities of Ryan Bender, Lorna Brennan, Tim Chang, Karen Fontenot, Alexis Gowron, Harrison Hahn, James McCrell, Brent Shin, and Meritus Artis. In view of their qualities and demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, they are, therefore, promoted in the United States Army to the grade of Second Lieutenant. Signed, Brian McCarthy, Secretary of the Army. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce the Northeastern Army ROTC Commissioning Class of 2020. At this time, Mr. Scott Lyons will coordinate a group photo with the newly commissioned Second Lieutenants. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cadet Gonzalez for the benediction.
Go in the strength of God's Spirit, lighting lamps of justice with the oil of righteousness. May the grace of God nourish you and the love of God sustain you, today and always.
Thank you, Cadet Gonzalez. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's commissioning ceremony. On behalf of the Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Luchetta, thank you for attending the 2020 Spring Commissioning Ceremony.